Hello and welcome. You are watching IndianExpress.com. So, the National Statistical Office on Monday released the GDP data for the first quarter. Now, India's GDP in April to June quarter contracted by 23.9%. Now, this was the period when the country was under severe lockdown due to COVID pandemic. So, what does the GDP data suggest? Is the Indian economy really in very bad shape? And what is the way forward? Our senior colleague Udit Mishra explains in this video. So I've been joined by my senior colleague Udit Mishra, and we'll be discussing the GDP numbers that have been released by the NSO. Mishra sir, 23.9% contraction. What does this mean? Which all sectors were badly impacted?
So yes, it's a historic contraction for India's GDP, and if you look at the sectoral activity, barring agriculture, every other sector has been very badly impacted. But what is crucial to my mind is that sectors which create new jobs in our economy, like construction, like mining or manufacturing, or trade and hotels and such services. So jobs across skill levels, the unskilled laborer or somebody skilled who knows a bit of English can service clients. Across the board, the sectors which provided new jobs are the worst affected. Construction is down 50%, trade and hotels is down 47%. So it's not just the decline in the output of the economy, but it's also the nature of that decline, that it would have a very massive, significant impact on the job creation or even existing jobs being held. So as we've seen, sort of ties in with the larger thing that a lot of jobs have been lost.
But this data is of the first quarter, April to June. Now, this is the time where the full lockdown actually happened. So, can we say the situation is actually really green in India? Because it has been the case globally also. If we compare Indian economy with other economies, where does Indian economy stand? And can we really say that Indian government has failed badly in helping the economy recover?
Yes, that's a valid question to ask. So one thing is that, in our own discussions in the past, we've been discussing in the last 1.5 years economic slowdown. So the thing with India is that what has happened with COVID is one thing, but it is coming at the back of a serious deceleration in growth. So that is a very crucial thing, because it's like you get into a crisis. How much money do you have in a crisis? That kind of a thing. So going into the crisis, Indian economy was fairly weak, and that is now showing up in the lack of measures that we can adopt to get out of the crisis. So as far as the impact of COVID is concerned, if you look at it, depending on how we controlled COVID and what resources different governments had, different economies have had different reduction in GDP. So US had in the same quarter 9% reduction, even though they had massive deaths, huge number of cases. China actually has gone up by 3%. So their data shows that they've actually increased the GDP by 3%. UK has a similar fall, around 21 odd percent, which is a similar sized economy in terms of GDP size. India's fall has been more than all others, but even more significant is the fact that these economies, say a China or a US or a UK, they have the money, they have the wherewithal. Their governments have actually thrown more money at the crisis. So if you look at UK, there is now coming, it's getting over. Whereas in India, the way COVID has panned out and the state of government finances show that this could be a very long drawn out crisis.
Even the Indian government also announced that stimulus package of Atmanirbhar package. Did that not actually affect it, or is it going to, or that package is going to have its effect on the second quarter?
If the total demand in the economy fell by 100 rupees, what government added to cover for this 100 rupee dip was only 6 rupees. So the two biggest engines of demand, private consumption, what you and I consume, and private businesses investment activity, what businesses spend for their Those are the two biggest engines of GDP. Together, these components are 88% of India's GDP. Now, these two components fell sharply, and the government increased its spending, but that increase was only covering for 6% of the 100 drop that happened. So the point is not whether the government did or not. The government did not do adequately. That's the point. Problem is that if your business goes goes under, basically, if you lose your business because in the first 6 months you did not get support, the second round might be that much more difficult. So it is easier to save by plugging a leak than to have a ship sink and then throw money at it to recover all the people. So the problem with the Indian economy is that government finances have been very constrained over the last few years because of economic slowdown itself. That is a separate thing. So because the government did not have the money at that time, today we cannot spend it as much. And now we are struggling to spend as much. And as a result, the whole recovery process, so recovery will happen. Now it can happen in 7 years, it can happen in 5 years, it can happen in 2 years, could happen in 1 year. All of that matters is what measures you take and when do you take it. If you take it late, you will have to spend more money and the recovery longer.
Talking about the measures, actually there has been discussion on going back to the pre-GST era. Now, recently Uddhav Thackeray, Maharashtra Chief Minister, also put this demand. Do you think it is time for the government to go back to that pre-GST era, because there has been, the money has been drying out from state governments, and the center is not actually providing the GST compensation as promised earlier? Do you think that is the way forward? What other measure can be taken?
So there is a genuine problem with GST. So on the face of it, it does become a simple system, right? At one tax across the country. So you don't have to think about 3 types of or 38 types of taxes. But tax simplification is a different issue. How to pay your taxes easily is a different issue from having one tax across the country. What one tax across the country does is that it takes away the state's ability to attract investment, provide for the poor. So a Bihar is very different from Tamil Nadu or Maharashtra or Kerala. Now there are 4 or 5 different economies with different requirements of what they want to spend for poor, how much they are earning from the people. They should typically be allowed to have certain amount of leeway to raise taxes, lower taxes, either way. Now in a COVID situation, this question has become really sharp because all state chief ministers are saying center is not giving us the money they owed us, and we do not have the resources. The economy is struggling. So each state government is justifiably asking, let us go back to pre-GST. At least I'll be able to tax my people, or not tax my people if I wanted to boost economic activity. So it's a very genuine, but the answer has to come from democratic process to figure out whether all states want to be free in this regard.
Do you think the Atmanirbhar package is going to, or the government is going to make certain moves? What is the way forward now? Will the next quarter data will also be like this the first quarter, or there will be some kind of an improvement?
So most economists, I trust, say that India's GDP will contract for a few more quarters. In fact, it is possible that it may contract for another full year, not just this year, next financial year also. It all depends, Nishant, on how you and I sort of spend our money. If more and more people save the money, the recovery process will be longer. If we spend more money, the recovery process would be shorter. But in a crisis like this, when people are losing jobs, incomes are getting restricted, chances are you and I would be saving money, and that would make the recovery process longer. So we might continue to contract for a little while longer and then go up. What the government has to do, very simply, has to put money in the economy. Whatever it has been putting, and we've written several stories on this, is inadequate, grossly inadequate. For an economy of this, we are, one of the largest economies in the world, so many people. If the government does not put in money now, the crisis will be much more deeper. If we sit back, what the government is planning to do, I do not know. That is still unknown. There are all kinds of rumors all the time that there are now second stimulus packages to come. But the package should be, more importantly, fiscal impulse should be there. That means government should spend. It should not be the case that government says RBI please provide more loans. Loans, as we have seen in the last 3-4 months in the whole process, when people are beaten down, they may not want to take as many loans. So you have to give the fiscal impulse. In our piece today, again, we've explained why government is the only engine of growth which does not have to follow the regular norms that you and I would have to follow. That if the money comes, then only we'll spend. Government can create, it can be innovative. It can cut costs somewhere, spend more somewhere else, create more money, whatever it wants to do. But this is a genuine crisis, Nishant. We could be looking at 2-3 years where we may not be able to get back to what our GDP was just at the year ending March. That was in 2019-20. So it's very crucial that the government spends quickly and big.
Okay, so government should spend quickly and come up with some innovative ideas. Thank you, Udit sir. Thank you for your input, and thank you, viewer, for joining us. For more news and update, keep logging on to IndianExpress.com.